Do this one activity if you're a content creator and a college student at the same time. I've been doing this for the past 8 years, and I promise that after this video you will be able to not only do this both thing, but now you're gonna be able to do the stuff that will support you being in college and while creating content, and will also help you to be in the best state possible while doing the both of activities. Okay, so the way that I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna give you the stories, tell you the lessons, then I'm gonna give you a secret of mine. And the lessons here are all based on the statistics that I literally gathered over the almost a decade of me creating content and being in the educational system. Okay, so hear this out, and it will all make sense in a second. I've been doing content creation for almost a decade. I've been in the educational system for 16 years. Alright, so it's almost 2 decades in the educational system and almost a decade of content creation. If there is one activity that I have to do any day of the week, I think it all comes down to these 3 points. The number 1 point is, if there is only one thing that I have to do as a content creator and a college student, has to be this one, has to be reading books. Now you will say, what? Hear me this out. As a content creator, you have all the clues about, you're familiar with videos, you're familiar with audio, you're familiar with all pieces of content that you produce. So mentally, you want some other form of content because people are different. You are making that form of content daily, weekly, whatever it is. The thing is, you're familiarized with it. And the thing is, most content creators also consume content that is similar to the content they produce. What do you want to also keep in mind is most people that are successful actually read books. And that's why you see a lot of successful people. Should I give you the examples? We're talking about Elon Musk, who's reading 1 book a day. We're talking about Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, all of them. There's a reason why Jeff Bezos has started his first business as a bookstore. There's a reason for that. You understand? Because they understand how it is important. And there's a reason also why they all have their own books. Donald Trump has his own books. It's called Art of the Deal. The thing is, books is one of the greatest way to get knowledge. And why? Because usually they spend at least 3 years. Think and Grow Rich, the book, Napoleon Hill spent 22 years studying the richest man in the world, hired by the richest man in the world back then, Carnegie, to study all of them, put them in one book and put them publicly to the people. 22 years studying. He studied 25,000 people. You understand how books are more valuable than the pieces of content. Okay, so now you want to read books. You want to read books that looks suited for you. I'm not going to push here books. I'm not going to just read books. You can start Persuasion at 70 pages. You can start with Who Moved My Cheese, which is self-help books. You want that? You want self-help books. You're already balancing college and content creation. It's not easy, dude. So the second activity, so this is also important. If there is one thing that I learned over the past 3 years with doing content, being in college, it's one thing. It's this. What is it, you might ask? Is get used to take criticism. So taking criticism is part of it. You understand that while being in college, creating content, both sides can criticize you. Whether that be your colleagues in college, they will like, oh, are you gonna make another video today? Ha ha ha. You didn't see his last video. Ha ha ha. Your video was awesome. Ha ha. And you should just ignore, or if it's just crosses the line, you should punch back. Don't let karma. It's like you have 2 options. Whether you let karma just takes place, like few years, whatever, or you just punch back with all force. Someone you think that he's disrespecting what you do, go all in with him. Or if you think he's just like, it doesn't have to be that way, let karma be whatever. He's just talking about my video, he's a fan. He's a fan, dude. Are you a fan of me and you talk about me that way? You're literally a fan. Like, if I were you, I will not watch my content. You are watching my content, you're literally a fan. This is like one go-to, okay? Tell him just block me, dude. I want you to block me. I don't want you to watch me. If someone is crossing the line and you don't want to lose the friendship, just like you do that, it's kind of like, just don't say that again. It's kind of like a red flag that you give him. Okay, now you understand this. But this, although you're doing criticism, you're doing the first point. Now, it's like, this won't work without one thing. I think the number one activity that you have to do while staying in college and creating content is being with the right people to take inspiration. So this is not more about networking as much as inspiration, because you need the energy to create content. Just of itself, you need ideas, you need content, you need principles, processes, statistics to analyze, people to collaborate with, etc. And on the other hand, if you are in college, also you have these type of things. So what you want to be is, if you can find someone who's creating content being in college, that would be awesome, because it will help you how to actually balance both and doing other activities. The thing is, there's pros and cons that comes with it. Most likely you will also lose some activities that you do. So if you're, going to the parties, Saturday parties, you're doing all of that, probably that's going to be cut down. If you're going to go all in, like, you can keep it, but if you're not going to go all in and you want to really get the results of college, you want to really get the results, and you want to stay in college and stay in content creation, you have to eliminate some stuff. For our work week, he talks about this so beautifully. He says, eliminate before you delegate. Before you say that this is just too much for me, etc., eliminate the stuff. College and being as a content creator, it's so much work. No, it's not. It's fucking not. That's why there's millions of fucking people doing it around the world. And that's why Mark Zuckerberg has started his business while in college. Elon Musk has started a business. Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook. Elon Musk started X, which was PayPal. It is PayPal. When he was in college, Jeff Bezos started that. It's like everybody started something when he was in college. So it's not something that you are the new person here, or you're doing something that is so crazy. There's millions of people, if not billions of people around the world that are doing the same thing at your age, at one point or another. So the thing is, you're not special unicorn. You just have to know what you're doing, what you're doing wrong. If there is one thing that will help, if there is one thing that helped me to go through the problems back to back, is ask this question. Ask myself, what is the biggest problem that I'm having right now? Then what I do is I'm going to write it this way. What is it that I don't know how to do? As an example, let's say just in the same things, like, I don't know how to do college and create content. Good. Just type that. While, let's say, how to do, because you have to be precise. You say, I don't know how to make content and stay in college and also go to Saturday parties. Solution, don't go to Saturday parties. I don't know how to do college and content creation while being with the group of friends. Don't be in the group of friends. It's AI level. This is not even AI. AI is supposed to be a good thing, but AI literally, like, AI from years back will answer this question for you. It's like, put the problem as what you don't know how to, because this will put your mind in a perspective that you have just to learn something to know. You don't know something. If you're going to know that one thing, your problem is solved. And in fact, most of the stuff that we have, most of the problem is just related to something that we don't know how to do. It's just something that you have to comprehend. Okay? So it's like, I don't know, what's your biggest problem? Just think about it. Okay, I'm not getting enough money. I don't know how to make money from my business. So what is enough money? $50 a day? I don't know how to make $50 a day from my business. Now I'm going to go back and I should learn how to make $50 a day. Now I should make what this means. I should make more sales calls. I should make more content. I should sell more stuff. I should change my product. I should make my product better. I should charge more for my product. I should provide more value. I should build systems. And whatever works for you, and you want to make it as doable as humanly possible. Alex Hormozi says this so beautifully. He says, you have to do one thing, which is you have to make your mind in a perspective that says, how can I make it unreasonable for me not to get what I want? I really don't like this for a few reasons. One of them is because how to make it unreasonable. It's like, okay, it's like there's a lot. It's so vague of a thing. It's like I don't know how to make $50 a day. How to make it unreasonable? Just make $50 or just work 24 hours. I can't do that. And it is unreasonable reason to not get $50 a day. You know? So I want stuff that puts my mind in the right direction. Alex Hormozi is great stuff. I just don't think that this is stated perfectly, but in practice I don't see that. I see is stating the problem, then you ask yourself, what is something that I know? It's like, what is something that I can do that at least can get me closer, or the most closer to what I want? And if it is hard, it has to be hard. If it's your hardest, it's your biggest problem, it has to be hard. And the reason why you're not doing it yet is because it's hard, you don't know how to do it. It's just how things go. But that being in college or content creation, you're not, let's say you have a content creation, you don't know how to get, let's say 30,000 views a month, 100,000, 1 million views a month. You say, I don't know how to get 1 million views a month on this platform. Okay, I don't know how to get 1 million views a month on this platform. Now what's the possible solution? Well, I have to analyze my best videos that I uploaded in the past decade, and I'm going to see which ones gave me the more views, and I'm going to see if I can repurpose them or make videos like them, and I'm going to see also why they got those views, and if there is something that actually can replicate, study them and do just that. Doable. I can do that. But when you say, I want to get 1 million views a month, it's too vague. You cannot do that. You understand? Now good. There is a reason why Elon Musk was asking this question to a lot of people when he was actually interviewing in the interview process of making someone work in his company. He said, what is the biggest problem that you have solved? So the problems that you have solved really is like nothing crazy about the question, but it just shows what is your perspective. It shows your limits. So if you're in college creating content, obviously will have some problems. Whether that be in criticism, we talked about it. Whether that be the activities that you have to get rid of. Whether that be in the network that you have to be about that will help you to just navigate through the both things so easily, in fact so greatly, without any problem. These are big problems that you can face and have struggle to actually deal with, which is normal. Because it's supposed to be hard. And that's why you wanted it in the first place. In fact, I'm going to give you a tip. I did college alone and I did content creation alone. You don't want to be there. The best, according to my statistics on myself for the past 3 years, going in college and also creating content is way better than just doing one or another. So get rid of from your head the idea that I have to quit one or another, whatever I have to. I get that. Think and Grow Rich talks about it so beautifully, and he says you have to burn all bridges. But when you're burning yourself, that's not burning all bridges. If you're in college and you quit college to do the other thing, you're burning yourself, not burning bridges. Because according to the statistics, it says that staying in college or staying in your job, whatever it is, and doing the startup, whatever it is, there is 30% more likelihood of actually succeeding. It's a research done by Oxford or Stanford for 5,000 salesmen. You understand? So this is the thing that you have to comprehend, and you have to accept that you have to do them both. And in order for you to have to do them both, you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But all of this will not be enough, because you have to add this one thing. Of course, like if you do all of this that I just said, it's enough. But do you want to stop here? Or you want to add one thing that will just eat the same value of all of these combined? Probably you want it. Okay, I'm going to give it to you. So if there is one thing that I learned from looking at the data or statistics that I gained over all of the years, almost a decade of staying in college/school and also creating content, is this one. Is that mix one with another. How you do that? Content creation gives you advantages. As an example, you can network with more people, it's easily to get conversations going, etc., etc. And also you're more interesting of a person because you're filming a lot, you're editing, you're doing all this process. It's like you can get, and you can have a very easy social life, although you're not investing in social life. So it's easy to get conversations going. On the other hand, it's like, how can you use it in college? Well, you're going to be better at presentations because you're always presenting yourself. You're always presenting your ideas. Videos are type of presentations. So you're going to be awesome at presenting in class. That's one. You're going to be awesome at speaking. If there's something that you have to convince your teacher, the staff, the people that are with you, your team, your teammates to do something, you're probably going to be better because you are that way. If there is an activity, probably you're going to get that opportunity and film from them or do whatever it is. And the same thing goes the other way. You are in college, you have something special, you can make content about being in college. You can just speak about college. Whatever your content it is, you can just introduce college in there, or simply just use what you learned from college in there. So if I'm learning about psychology and specializing in psychology, whether I talk about psychology, I talk about being a college student in psychology, or just simply make psychology part of my videos. I create content, I'm going to always make the psychological aspect of this situation. And I just put it because that's what I know. And I have the knowledge, I have the expertise, and I am qualified to do this. If I'm not going to do this, who will? Think about it this way. If I'm not, I am literally choosing this class for college. If I'm not going to talk about it in my content, who is going to? Probably none. Exactly. So you have to do it. If you don't do it, someone else will do it. And if he's first at doing it, then you lost the opportunity probably. And if you are in the situation where there is people doing it, then you have to do it too. If there's a lot of people that are doing it, that means that it works. And you want to do what works. You want to make content that works. You want to stay college in the way that you can stay in college and also stay in creating content that you want. Now you understand. It's like you've understand a few principles, but I think for me personally, there is one trick that I've always used to stay in college and also create content. Because this trick will not only give you the power to be comfortable in being uncomfortable. Because sometimes your teacher is going to know about your content. What are you going to do? I've been in there multiple times. In fact, I've been in the States about twice in my career of almost a decade of creating content, being in school/college. This is awesome. Dude, you have to listen to this. It's like, if there's only one thing, I did it only twice in my career of almost a decade of creating content, also being a student in college/school, will be give your teachers your content. Insane. You should do it. I advise you to do it at least once or twice. It will change your entire trajectory of how you see your content, and not only that, just how you see yourself, how the teachers see you. And you will be comfortable with people knowing about stuff. The thing is, if you think you can't do it, usually your content is unauthentic. And how to prove this is if people recognize you in public. Do you love it or do you hate it? If you hate it, this means you're probably unauthentic on social media. And the same goes in different ways. It's like, if you love it, probably you are authentic. If people recognize me, I'm always speaking with them. There's the kids that recognize me. I said, tell them, are you studying or going to school? What is your grade? How was your last year going with school? So do you want, if there's a group of people, I ask them. This is something that I always do when I see people that recognize me in public and they're relatively young age. I ask them immediately about their school. Why? To have a good impact on them. Because when I was young, I didn't have that. And really the people that I looked up for, I'd never seen. So if I'm gonna see someone, I probably will remember what he's told me. So I tell them, do you study good? Are you in school? What is your grade last year? Is it good? If it's group, I told them, who is the smartest of you in school? And I don't say the smartest, but like who is the first in school from you? And there's always that guy, So I encourage being good at school. I encourage being good. I relate myself in the content. So like if he thinks that I am making some value, he will relate to himself this stuff with school. The positive impact, it's so important, yet a lot of people are neglecting that. If you create content, you stay in college, you might as well use that. Make people know about your stuff and make your stuff make people know about you. And also, if someone recognizes you, make it an opportunity to actually give them positive impact. And people who don't know you, make sure to tell them to follow you to understand that you are actually authentic. You have no problem. Because if you don't, there's one teacher came to me the last year and she was like, you've seen that. It's like one teacher that came to me last year and it actually shocked me about my content. She told me that I watch your videos. Now, that's something that didn't happen to me for a few years. She said, "Are you?" I said, "Yes, it's actually me." And then she just really supported me. She was very nice. She was actually commenting my comments for a few days and I understood the assignment. It's something that not everyone will have if they are unauthentic. Okay? You want to be in that space. You want to taste that sweet. On the other hand, I've been there too when it was unauthentic with my content about 3 years ago. I had that. Everyone was recognizing me and I hated it. And look, as I promised, you now have the ability, just like as I promised, you now have the ability to actually stay in college and create content. And now you have a good idea about all the activities that you can do while doing the both thing and actually striving in them. And what you've seen here, and the good thing, you can immediately do it. And what you've seen here, you can never unseen. So you might as well subscribe.